All right, time to talk about global warming. So, you probably heard about global warming ever since you were a little kid. But we've been discussing global warming and what they call now climate change in America for the last 70 years or so. So, if you look right here, the science is back and forth throughout time. Okay, we are now with better technology getting a clearer picture of just how much we are actually destroying the planet. But back then, they really didn't know what was going on, folks. So look, this is from the 70s right here. Time magazine, the cooling of America. We thought that an ice age was coming, that America was going to get cooler. The 1980s, global warming. Right after the big cooling, right? All right, next one. Okay, the ice caps are melting. The poor polar bears, they are, running out of habitat because of global warming. And then in the 1990s, the big freeze. We're heading for another ice age. So global warming, global cooling, global warming, global cooling. Which one's going on, right? We all know that fossil fuels do emit greenhouse gases which warm up the earth. And eventually that is going to warm up the earth to the point where we can't reverse it. People like Elon Musk are trying to stop that, and many, many other people. Some people have made this their religion, though, basically. So, it's the most important thing to them in the whole world, and everything they are is about stopping global warming or climate change. See, back then we called it global warming. After the scientists figured out they couldn't tell whether or not it was warming or cooling, they changed it. They changed the wording to climate change, because climate change does, it basically says, you could get warmer, you could get cooler, the climate's changing. It's an ambiguous term that doesn't mean much, okay? Yes, the climate always changes. It's called weather, okay? So, global warming in Kyoto, Japan, there was a meeting called the Kyoto Protocols. That was the name of the document that was signed there, calling for industrial nations to restrict their pollution, but allow lesser developed nations unlimited pollution. So the developed countries like America, we're supposed to back off on our pollution, but allow emerging countries like China and India to do whatever they want, so that way they can build their economies up. And America just kind of thought that that wasn't that fair. Like President Bush, President Clinton refuses to accept the proposal, fearing damage to the U.S. economy. A Democrat said this, not just a Republican. Again, George H.W. Bush back in the early 90s said, "I will not do anything that damages the economy." And President Clinton, the Democrat, says the same thing. See, back then, the political parties were a lot less polarized. It was a lot less left-wing and right-wing stuff. They were more in the center, okay? And they cared about the same common issues. Concern over climate change has prompted a number of measures to protect the environment, such as the use of alternative fuels and fuel-efficient vehicles like Teslas. All right, here we go. Which course of action is the easiest way for an individual? That means one person, okay? Which course of action is the easiest way for one person to fight global warming? How can you fight global warming best? Protect threatened forests. Okay, can you protect a forest by yourself? Probably not. Manufacture fuel-efficient vehicles. Are you going to be in your garage building Teslas? I don't think so. Veto legislation. Wait up, who gets to veto stuff? Like the president? Governors? Okay, that's not going to be it. Utilize community recycling programs. This is something you can actually do. If you want to help the environment, recycle. That's a good answer, okay? So D is the correct answer there. We're going to move on to 22 now. Many Americans are concerned about the country's dependence on foreign countries for its oil supplies. Which solution is the best way to address this dependence? Okay. Now, I can tell you right now, this question was written by a Democrat. Okay, just because of what the answer is. So, the best way to stop depending on foreign countries for your oil supply is for America to drill for its own oil and to seek out alternative energy sources that are green and renewable. That's the Republican answer. The Democrat answer basically cuts out that first part and says that we don't need to drill for oil in America because it causes pollution. So the correct answer right here is develop alternative sources of energy. That is going to be the best out of the four that we have right here.